Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the market close. We got a green day. Um, After the first couple of days of this week, I was beginning to wonder. I was beginning to wonder if September's old ways have come back. But the market's okay. The market's doing okay today. We do have a green day. There's a lot of excitement on the market over a couple of things. It all ties into rate cuts. Investors on both sides of the borders they're anticipating rate cuts next week, September 17th. So Bank of Canada and the Fed both expected to cut by 25 basis points. It's got people a little excited. In addition to that, the PPI, the Producers Price Index for the United States, came out today, and it gave appearances that inflation might be softening a little bit down there. Once again, almost guaranteeing that the U.S. Fed will be looking at a rate cut next week. So that's got some excitement going. It's got the market a little happy. We're in the green. I'll take it. I will take it. Of course, it meant we had some buy the dip opportunities at the beginning of this week. So I'm very eager to hear if you took advantage on Monday, especially Monday. Did you buy the dip on Monday? If so, let me know what you bought. I'm kind of curious. In the meantime, holy banana bread. Let's go to the charts. So we have, and this is the TSX, we are up 0.29%. And that blue line, folks, you guys all know what that is. That's where we came into, well, actually, it's not where we entered the month. It's where we ended last month. So that's where we ended last month. And all we got to do to have a green month is stay above that line. And we're doing it. The TSX definitely doing it. Of course, a lot of that is that a lot of the mining stocks are up big time. Gold is doing really well. That is really helping. That's really helping the TSX stay well above it. But we'll take it. We'll take it. A nice green day. September's looking strong. We've got almost half a month, 10 days. So in 5 days, it'll be half a month. Let's see if we can keep this momentum up. I know at the beginning of the month, I predicted a maybe, I've been back and forth between a little red or a little green, not far from the blue line. So pretty much a flat month, but I'm looking like I'm wrong. I'm really looking wrong here, and I don't mind it, but it'll be interesting to see. We still got a lot of month left. A lot can happen in that month. So let's take a look here at the U.S. It's a little bit different. U.S. is they're still above the blue line, but they took a meandering path to where they're at with a lot of red candles in there, and you can sort of see here. Look at this. They started today pretty much in the red, but they're doing okay. They are currently up 0.25%, so they're currently in the green. Can't say that for the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is 0.13 to the red, still in bull territory for the month. So it's looking pretty good on pretty much most of the exchanges, except for the poor Dow Jones. The poor Dow Jones sitting below the blue line. They're having the worst day out of all of us this today. They're down 0.53% in the red. The Russell, all those little caps, the small caps, they are down a tiny bit, 0.06. I'll call it flat. And they are they're in positive territory for the month. So that's not too shabby. Gold's kind of moving a little bit sideways after some initial pumping here. But they are officially in the green today, up 0.44%. Silver's up 0.51%. WTI having a good day. Look at this, a nice 1.96% pump. But there's I don't want to call it a black swan. It's an off-white swan event, we'll call it. We had a situation where a NATO country, so Poland shot down a whole bunch of Russian drones that were in Polish airspace. So And I think they invoked Article 4 at the same time. So a little bit of tension there. People a little bit worried, like, oh boy, this could be escalating. And that may very well be part of why we're seeing a little bit of a big candle to start the day. But I think when all is said and done, they shot down drones in their own airspace. I don't think it's going to create I don't think it's going to create as big of an issue as everybody fears. All right, let's. Oh, and of course, crypto is up. Bitcoin is up 1.77. Ethereum up 0.25. Okay, now let's get to our heat maps. Take a look and see what's doing good here. Yeah, technology seems to be suffering in Canada. Look at this. Constellation Software, they're down 3.26%. Routers, they're down 2.88%. Topicus, down 5.89%. Ah, boy, there's a lot down. Everywhere else is looking pretty good. I mean, oil's definitely looking good. CNQ's up, Suncor's up, Imperial Oil, Synovus. It's looking pretty strong. The banks are looking okay. They're not up much, but they're up a little bit. Yeah, well, Bank of Nova Scotia kind of not. They're up 0.03, so not that much. We've got. Let's jump to the U.S. Let's jump to the U.S. Oh, we got a Tesla screen. Let's get rid of the Tesla screen. Got a bit of a mixed bag. So Nvidia up 3.90%, but interestingly enough, Apple is down 3.26%. Now they just had their big reveal of all of their new iPhones yesterday, and I thought it was a good reveal. I thought it, they introduced the iPhone Air. It's kind of like a pancake version of an iPhone, very flat, very flat. I thought it went well, but maybe investors are not liking it. Interesting. Broadcom. Now, this is an interesting one. Look at that, up 9.44%. I don't know if Paul is here, but I know he's been making some plays on Broadcom. I hope, Paul, you have some. I hope you have some. I hope you're riding this one up. Amazon down 3.84. Yeah. What can I say? Tesla up a little bit. Tesla was up about 2% earlier, but they have now pulled back just a little bit. All right, switching over to crypto, and I'm gonna refresh that because that does not look right. There we go. There we go. Bitcoin up 1.84%. XRP's up. Solana 2.43%. So overall, a pretty green day on the crypto market. Oh, this is time for coffee early. So good. There are a lot. There's a lot of, let me actually zoom in here. There is a lot of coins. There's a lot of altcoins. There's more than 15,000. And it's probably closer to 20,000 to be honest. I like to pick a coin the opposite color of whatever Bitcoin is doing that I've never heard of, just to sort of point out and demonstrate that there's a lot of interesting coins out there. Today, we're at Polka Markets. Polka Markets, so Polk USD. That's interesting. I do not know what this is, but of course it instantly makes me think of Polkadot. And I'm wondering if this is somehow tying into that ecosystem. I don't know. I would not invest in this. I'm very leery of a lot of the new coins. A lot of I call them crap coins, and I don't want to make it sound like they're all bad, because some of them, and maybe Polka Markets will be one of them. Some of them are gonna eventually become half decent coins. But the point is, if you're interested in some of these crap coins or you're looking to make a fast buck, oh boy, be prepared to lose. You probably will lose. I could put some money into Polka Markets right now, and chances are I'm going to lose money. I mean, I'm talking big time chances. So just be careful with these. In fact, I don't like penny stocks, but I would rather a penny stock to a crap coin any day. There's a lot of money to be made in crypto. All you got to do Stick to your big ones, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, your Solana, even your Cardano, and gosh, even the Dogecoin. Those ones there, you're not gonna lose money on those. Well, unless you do stupid things, of course. You can do a stupid thing with anything and lose money for sure. All right. Whew, holy banana bread. I'm just going to bring us back here, and I'm going to come big screen, and let's visit the chat. Jim is in first. I am going to miss Too Busy today. Oh no, Jim. Well, you're here in spirit. Up next, we get Brian. Holy banana bread. That's what I'm going to say. Someone just shot Charlie Kirk at an event in Utah. If this is another leftist POS, the U.S. is going to have a civil war for banana bread's sake, because, wow, talk about hitting a breaking point. Yeah, I don't like to see violence happen. I can understand. You know what? Yeah, left, right, a lot of different values, sometimes very different values from both sides. But no matter what side you're on, there's never an excuse to use violence to try to make a point. So, hopefully, and I don't know how bad Charlie Kirk is, but hopefully he's fine. Hopefully it's it's a non-fatal hit. Hopefully, and hopefully whoever did it gets arrested. And I don't know a lot about this. I saw the headline before the show. That was about it. So yeah, it's not great. It's not great. What can I say? Claude says, hello, I won't be able to watch live today. Just wanted to say I really loved your hybrid 100K video. Yes. Speaking of that video, guys, I should do this right now. Let me get this going. I'm going to drop a poll. So we've got 2 more in that series that are coming up. I'm doing 1 a week. So my question for you guys is, do you want the next one to be the income one, or I'll just call it total. We'll call it growth. We'll just say income or growth. There we go. All right, I'll just call it which is next. Here we go. Perfect. So yeah, guys, I'll pull it up a little later, and once we have a clear-cut winner, we'll call it. But here we go. Bang. Poll is in. Vote for whichever one you want me to do next. Yeah, because I can't wait. I love doing both of them. And it's really interesting too. I have had, I got to pay attention to the time, 3:57, because I'm very good at missing the bell. So yeah, I have actually had I've had a few people, I've had 2 requests for me to do an American version. So that's interesting. I can see this series going further, because obviously, maybe down the road we can do a $1 million version. That would be fun. Oh boy, a lot of work for me, but it would be fun. But yeah, I mean, I could do an American one. I'm only hesitant a little bit because when I throw American content on the channel, it does badly, very, very badly. So it's something that I'm thinking about. I'm mulling it over. All right, let's see here. Stan Gray is in the house with a hello. And Vic is in here with Kalarna? I don't know what that is. Morale, says, good afternoon. Yes, it is a pretty good afternoon. Now, I will say, it's warmer here in Ottawa, which is great. But around my house, they're paving the road. Like, we got a main highway that goes right by, not that far. It's called Bank Street, for those of you familiar with Ottawa. But because it's a major road, they can't really pave it in the day. So they're doing it overnight. So the last few nights you could hear construction all through the night, like the grader, the steamroller, the dump trucks. The part that they've done looks fabulous, but it's happening. Danielle says, hello all, Candace. Very good video yesterday on hybrid portfolio. Well, thank you. Thank you kindly. Paul is in the house. Good afternoon. Let's say good afternoon. Another day beating the S&P 500. Doorpat in here with a hi all. Amazon and Apple for me today. Yeah, well, they're down. I'm surprised. Like I am legitimately surprised about Amazon right now. Or sorry, about Apple. I really thought their presentation went well. I mean, they've improved on all of their phones and battery life. Oh, the battery life. Holy banana bread. But I don't know. People are not jiving. They're just not jiving. Assisi says buy Canadian. Oh, and sell off our best mining companies to the country we claim to be fighting for independence from Geezy. Yes, yes. um, who is? Yeah, there. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I think I remember I saw something about a merger. So yeah, it looks like it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Like right now, and this is the thing. I think the Canadian sector is really, really strong. So I'd be hesitant to sell, especially sell a company to somebody in the U.S. That's for sure. But what can we do? What can we do? Jack says I rotated a little Google for Litecoin on Monday. Awesome. And Lily is in the house with a hello, everyone. Let's see. When they say buy Canadian, but they don't hire Canadian. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, right now, holy, yeah. There's like, well, our unemployment rate. And guys, when I like on the weekend, we talked about the unemployment rate being 7.2%. That that number is it's big, but it's actually much worse than that. I just want to be. Oh, guys, I missed the bell. Let's go. I'm so bad with the bell. There we go. See, you guys keep distracting me. Oh boy! If we end up with a Friday show, I will watch that clock like a hawk. All right. What was I saying? Oh right, unemployment. So 7.2% is bad, but that does not include all of the people who've stopped looking. So the people who are no longer on unemployment, don't have a job, and aren't looking, those people are being kind of swept under the rug. So they're not being counted. So when you look at it, it's the amount of people who are unemployed is much higher than 7.2%. So it's worse than it looks. But 7.2 is just that's that number that they parade around. All right. Paul says profit taking for 2/3 of the day. They seem to be buying back now in the last part of the day. Bought some Biggie. Nice. So of course, Biggie and Maple, the new Evolve ETFs. So those will be interesting to watch. Those will definitely be interesting to watch. And I probably am going to get a video out on them sooner than later. Not Friday. Friday's video, by the way, guys, is it's an ETF battle between UMAX and UTES. So we're gonna pit them up against each other, see who's performing the best. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun one. Danielle says I sold my IM Gold stocks last month when it was $11. Made a good profit, but it doesn't stop getting higher and higher. Reached $15.66 today. Am I the only one who has a problem when selling a stock? This is a normal part of investing, Danielle. You will sell stocks and they will continue to go higher. There's a couple of ways around here. Like one is when you sell, right? You always can sell with, using like a stop loss. That's one way. So if you set up a stop loss and let it go higher, and as it goes higher, keep moving that stop loss up. Or if you do have a broker that has a trailing stop loss, it'll do it for you automatically. I don't know many brokers that have them. I know Desjardins does, and I think somebody said the Royal Bank's brokerage does as well. I know Wealthsimple doesn't have it, but a stop loss is one way that you can certainly, especially if it's in the morning and the stock is doing well, and you're thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to take my $11. Well, you could always set a stop loss just under 11, and then and if it climbs, and if later in the day it's up at 12, you could sell it at 12, you still made more, or that's where you have to make that decision. Well, am I going to take it towards the end of the day at this price? Because I have no control over what happens overnight. So there's all kinds of factors that go in, but look at it this way. If you made a profit, you did win. You won. I just want to be clear with that. If you've made a profit, you have won. That's what the game is all about. And there will be many, many times that, you could have made a bigger profit. Absolutely. But never beat yourself up about it. What you do is you just look for your next target. I have sold things before and then they went to the moon right after. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I would have just stayed in for another half an hour. But, that's it. It's now just a story of, oh, that time I missed this rocket ship. That's pretty much all it becomes at that point. Paul says most of the up was overnight and pre-market in the USD. Okay, fair enough. Gursky says, holy green, Batman. Nice. Zamair, this rate cut is a Band-Aid for a cancer patient. The economy is going down. The economy, these tariffs are not a good thing. These tariffs are not a good thing at all. So it's going to really, 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 really take a toll, I think, on, the U.S. Canada, we have this one little thing I think that nobody took into consideration is that as the economy gets worse in the United States and as more and more people get interested in gold, it is pumping up our mining sector. Our mining sector is huge. And that sector is holding things. Like there's been many, many green days in the last few months that would not have been green if it weren't for that sector. So that is one thing to keep in mind. CC, pretty soon we really will be living in a Canada simulation because we'll never truly touch a Canadian item ever again. Oh boy. I hope that's not true. I hope you're wrong. I really do. Meowie, last live before your birthday on Saturday the 13th, unless you get some supers for a Friday stream. That is true. Yes, so Saturday, this Saturday coming up, Saturday the 13th, is my birthday. As such, we won't have a stream on Saturday. We don't have a stream anyway on Saturday, but yeah, so this may be the last live before my birthday, unless, of course, if you guys put a show on for Friday, then we will have a birthday eve show. Amrit says, finally got into Air Canada. They expanded on their flight offerings. I got in at $18.85. What do you think on target entry? That's not bad. That's actually, it's better than where my current swing is at 19. So $18.85, absolutely a good point. Absolutely a good spot. All right. Paul says all of my holdings in the green today with, Broadcom up 9.62. That's what I was asking. That's what I was mentioning. I'm glad that you had some Broadcom to ride that up. Let's see. Oops. Strategy down 1.1%. A normal day. All right. Mary is in the house, guys. Mary is our official captain of the like button. So, guys, if you have not yet hit that like button, you might as well do it because, when Mary comes in, I gotta have some coffee. So it gives you something to do while I'm drinking. Oh, so good. So good. I'm not seeing the night bot. I thought I put the night bot on. I did put it on. Maybe it's not working. But the Friday thing is on. So if you guys want a Friday show, 4 supers or 3 supers and an invited channel member invitation or any combination of that stuff all adds up. If we get that before the end of the show, we'll throw another show on the schedule. All right, let's see here. Jack says Litecoin plus 3%. Nice. And let's see. Paul says bought Broadcom before earnings with 2 accounts. Average of $299.96. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that for sure. Cowboy is in the house with the greetings all. Larry's in the house. Rate cuts mean dollar devaluation, oil, silver, gold, etc. to rise. We've been buying companies out of the USA for the past 3 years in order to make money on dividends. Okay, fair enough. And those of you who don't know who Larry is, He's got a small little fund. I don't know if I'd call it small anymore, but he's got a little investing fund down there that people buy into, and he's always on the look for some good deals. Good deals. A very smart guy. Let's see. Being exchanged through outside currencies that will increase in value. All right. Paul, 22.5% on Broadcom so far, 18.2% on SSK so far, with one distribution and drip 2 shares. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Good afternoon, everyone. Brian's in the house. Jack says, for banana bread's sake. Income before you type the pool. Yes. Actually, let's take a look here. Income's leading right now 70%. So it's looking pretty good. It's funny. I kind of knew who was going to win before I even put the poll up. But what can I say? What can I say? Zamayer, income, there will be no growth in the next year. Income and growth. Well, that's what we just did. That's the one that released yesterday. Brian says, yes, I would love to see an American version for my RRSP, US stocks, and dividends. Nice. All right, Rory. Hi there. Just watching bad news in the U.S. Political debater Charlie Kirk was shot in Utah. Critical condition. Oh, yeek. That's never good. Yeah, I'd only heard that he'd been shot. I was hoping it was like grazed or something, but hopefully he pulls through. Hopefully he pulls through. And as I said earlier, whoever did this, I hope they get caught. I hope they get caught. There should be consequences for sure. Paul says, Canadian. That includes anything buyable in CAD, even if the companies are in the USD. All right. Cheers all. BTE had a nice little bump. Oh, there's the Nightbot. Yes, Mugsy, I was late. Okay, the Nightbot, I didn't realize the Nightbot. See, that's how far behind I am. That's how far behind I am. All right, let's just see here. Jack. Apple is mid and the battery on the iPhone Air sounds like they're lying because they also came out with a MagSafe battery for the Air. Yeah, that is one thing. And you're right. One thing that's interesting is this MagSafe battery that you put on the back of it. Is the time, the battery times that they gave, is that with the MagSafe battery attachment, or is that the phone by itself? Because that's kind of a different thing. They kind of made it sound like it was the phone by itself, but we'll have to see. Did you miss the bell? I was a minute late. I was a whole minute late. Paul says, for people who like Apple, buy the dip. Not myself. They have no distribution anymore. Apple, like Costco now, everyone uses them. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Jay, there is no game-changing innovation from Apple, and I think people are getting tired of it. All right, that's fair. That is fair. All right. And I do see there's some supers up ahead here. Just give me a second to get to you guys. Rory says, Dan from Stock Trades talked about Apple. His video is good. All right. So, I'm just gonna zip down quickly and acknowledge. I got to acknowledge some of these things. All right. So we have a gifted membership by Paul. And who got that? I have to look at another screen because it doesn't tell me over here. Brian Wieland. Awesome. Congratulations. And Paul, I gotta give you the goat. So Paul is our first goat. Awesome. And I also see right in here. Oh, sorry, just trying to pull here as you guys are shifting things as we do it. Good old Jonathan. Jonathan's been here pretty much from the beginning. Jonathan's pretty awesome. Jonathan gifted a membership as well to Emrit. Congratulations, Emrit, and thank you very much, Jonathan. And Jonathan, you get our second goat. So that's 2 right there. And if that's not everything, we got a super sticker from the one and only hit the like button, Mary, for $2.79. So Mary pulls out the third goat. So guys, we're one gifted membership or super sticker, super whatever, Away from a Friday show. So one more, we get the Friday show. That'll be fantastic. All right, let's get back to. Let's actually see if I can find where I was. Holy banana bread. Let me just see here. I was. That's the one problem is I can't jump around. I can't jump around a little. It gets kind of strange. All right, there we are. There's the Rory. I was on this Rory comment. All right, on to Jack. See, they are also stemming the unemployment numbers by hiring more part-time work. Have multiple friends struggling to find full-time work. All they get offered is part-time, and that's interesting. Yeah, I mean that is a problem, but at the same time, the last job numbers of the 66,000 jobs that were lost, most of those were part time. So that's an interesting thing. About 60,000 part time jobs were lost. So if people are only getting offered part time and we're losing a big chunk of part time, people may start soon getting offered nothing. It's like, sorry, come again. Check back in next year. Check back in 3.5 years, maybe. We'll see. Cowboy says our dollar sucks so bad the Americans can buy us wholesale, and yet the liberals will still not allow development of our resource sector. Tomorrow, Carney is supposed to announce the first companies in this one Canadian economy thing, the Build Canada bill. That's going to be interesting. I want to hear them. And I want to see some movement. I want to see some movement because, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. And Rory is double watching this and the Charlie Kirk incident. Oh, yikes! Yeah. I abhor the violence. Jack says that's why I'm going more into Litecoin. Max Carnage is going to ruin the Canadian dollar even more. Oh, Marx. Oh, At first, I was thinking Maximum Carnage. What are we talking? Yeah, okay, I got it. It's Mark Carney, a cute little nickname you've created. Paul says, I'm glad I have a part-time job. Wouldn't want to be looking for a job right now. Hours just got cut back. 32 hours last week, 20 hours this week, 12 hours next week. EI sick converted to EI regular in May. Oh, boy. Joe bought 11 shares of Estee. Nice. Nice. Let's see. The Charlie Kirk video is crazy. He was being asked a question about guns and shootings. Oh, yike. Oh, the neck. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Rory, just keep watching the Utah News Live. See, Charlie Kirk speaks truth, which is not popular. And like I said earlier, honestly, to me, it doesn't matter what side somebody's on. Nobody deserves to be shot. You know, there's just, I don't know. I just abhor violence, so I have no sympathy for the person who did it. That's where I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. Paul says DC Dakota Gold in the USA. Look at the 1 year. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Dakota Gold. Uh-oh. Well, that's creepy. All right. Let's see here. DC, you said. DC. Come on. DC. Uh-oh. All right, here we go. All right, I'm just going to refresh that page because it's not working. It's not working. Gosh. What the heck? Seriously? All right. That is weirdness. All right, you know what? I can't even close that window. Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm going to assume that DC at Dakota Gold is doing well. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? This here is this is a Safari issue. Safari is acting up. All right, give me a second because my stream is not in Safari, so I can actually quit out of Safari, do a force quit, and then just restart it. Yep. Okay, I am trying to get my video back. It just went crazy on me. So give me a couple seconds here. I'm just rebooting the camera just to get it to work for some reason. Otherwise, we're gonna have a black talking circle in the middle thing, and that's not fun. It'll just be a couple more seconds, guy. Sorry. All right. Okay, we fixed it. We have fixed it. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I I also did reboot the other one too at the same time. So it is working. It is working. Of course, I do have to reshare it. I do have to reshare it. Let's just share that screen one more time. Holy banana bread. What a fun one. What a fun one. All right. Let's oh boy. We were looking at DC. That's where we were. That's what we were trying to look at. All right, DC. Let's pull it up. Let's see. And it's DC in the U.S., right? Dakota. Yeah, Dakota Gold. All right, let's pull this up. I'm going to pull up the 1 year. That's what Paul was talking about. All right. Oh, look at this. Yeah, they've pretty much almost, yeah, roughly doubled in 1 year. That that is awesome. That's awesome, Paul. But yeah, whoops. Wait a minute. You're not seeing that on the screen. All right. I think I'm going to remove that one. Let me. What the banana bread? All right. I think I grabbed the wrong screen. Yeah. It's like if you're going to have technical issues, let's have all the technical issues. Here we go. There we go. There we are. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. All right. let's get things back on track. And I was, where the heck was I? Let's see here. Paul. Let's see, hit the like button. I'm pretty darn close. I'm pretty darn close to where we were, I think. Either that or I'm really far behind. All right. Oh, let's see here. Happy. Nope. All right, let's see. I found it. Here we are. All right. Cowboy, happy birthday. 29 again is my guess. Yeah, you know what? I can't pull 29. Let's go with 39 again. Kevin is in the house with a like, guys. Brian, how will the markets respond to a civil war? Because that is where this is headed. I don't think it will go well. If there actually was a civil war in the States, oh boy, that would be something really interesting to navigate. I don't think. Let's just say this: I would be going into very defensive investing. I would probably pull most of my stuff out of the U.S. to be honest, if that were happening. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm hoping. Well, let's just say everything I think is never going to happen in the U.S. has been happening. So who knows? But we'll find it. We'll find out. All right. Let's see here. And, Emrit is thanking Jonathan, saying, never have gotten a membership before. I wonder if it gets just applied to me automatically. Very nice way to lighten up the day. Yeah, so because you now have a membership, it was gifted to you. You have that for a month. You'll be able to watch videos one day early. So you'll be able to see those. You'll also be able to attend, if you want to, the exclusive live stream coming up later in this month for channel members, which is great because where there's fewer of you guys, it gives you an opportunity to get more of my time and all of that fun stuff. You'll also get to choose the last video of the month, and as well, you'll get some of my my updates that I send out on swing trading. So that is always fun. All right, and Nightbot says something about, I don't know. I didn't see any spamming. So Nightbot, don't do that. Lisa's in the house with a hi, everyone. And Jonathan is saying, so glad you're in. All right. Jack says, I'm pretty sure it's with the battery pack, which clearly makes the thinness of the phone useless. Agreed. I'm not, like the iPhone Air, I've got no interest in that phone. And it looks nice. And even if it lives up to all of his expectations, it's just like, nah, I'm used to the normal iPhone. I like the size of it. I like the thickness of it. I'm not interested. Let's see. The right doesn't shoot people it disagrees with. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Apple Vision was a flop. Yeah, it kind of disappeared. I don't want to call it a flop. I want to say that it was too soon. It's like, why bring something out where there's not a demand yet for it? I think somewhere down the road, it probably would have done a lot better than when they brought it out. I think it was too soon. I think it was, way too soon. Or 68.00. I'm not sure. I'm so far behind, I don't know what reference that is. All right, let's see here. Apple Intelligence, soon to be powered by Google Gemini. Apple gets their screens from Samsung. What's next? Apple has historically, and I like Apple, but I will say this. Apple tends to not be the innovators. They tend to take other people's technology and make it better. That's kind of what their history has been. And it was good to see some improvements, some improvements this time around. But it's kind of one of those things. Like, obviously Samsung's been cutting into a lot of their market, but at the same time, there's a lot of people, like a lot of times people become very loyal to the phone brand they have. They don't want to learn a new phone. So that's one thing that Apple has going for them. They have that dedicated fan base that probably isn't going to change. Like I know my mom. My mom has no, my mom uses Windows computers for everything, but her phone is an iPhone. And I think if she ever got a Samsung, one, I would get message after message about how do I do this? How do I do that? And I'd be like, I don't have a Samsung. I don't know. All right. Let's see. You have a phone. Set an alarm for 4. I do a reoccurring 10 p.m. alarm for my ShakePay app as a reminder. Yes, you kind of have to. You kind of have to. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your streak. All right, and then yes, hit the like button. Recession indicators through. There's a lot of recession indicators. It surprises me that we haven't gone into a recession. I actually thought by now we would. I think at the beginning of the year I called a recession for the fall. So yeah, I mean I guess it could happen technically, but well, no, it probably can't. I think end of the year would be the earliest we could technically be in a recession. But what can we do? Carnage, all talk and no action. He's delaying. Paul says, so liberals get to pick the winners and losers instead of removing red tape and letting the private sector create jobs. Well, that's kind of what it boils down to, Paul. What we want the federal government to do is just remove the red tape. And then it falls on the provincial premiers to do the same. If we can remove red tape across the board, it has to start obviously federally and then provincially and then municipality, I guess, municipal. Because, there's red tape at all levels. And, that's why it takes forever. It takes forever to do stuff. I even think 2 years is too long. So yeah, sure, we're knocking it down from 10 years to 2 years, but I still think we could do better. I would like to see it I could live with a year if it takes a year to get, do all your studies, get all the permits together, get all your ducks in a row. 2 years I think is still too long. Especially, if we are in this situation that we want to really stimulate the economy. And right now, when I look at the amount of supports that are starting to build up and some of the spending that it looks like the Liberals are going to be doing, well, that money has to come from somewhere. So that's always a concern. Jack says delaying, and the only action Carney will take is sending our troops onto the ground in Ukraine on top of the billions of taxpayer dollars while we struggle in Canada. Well, the only thing is he has stated that it would be in a peacekeeping capacity after there is a peace treaty. And the way things are going right now with Ukraine, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I think we're fine. Candace needs a new Apple computer. Oh, yeah. I probably need to clean this thing up a little bit. It's still good. Apple IIe. Oops, Candace is gone. Amber Alert. I love it. Yeah, there's me. I'm on the back of a milk carton now because of that little disappearance. All right, so I'm going to jump past all of the, come back, Candace. Oh, except for this one. Liam Neeson's on it. Yep. Frank Drebin Jr. is looking for me right now. I love it. When YouTube demands ID, upload a face scan midstream. Oh, wow, the shooter is still... Oh, really? Oh, boy. Let's hope they catch him. For sure. All right. So, cops, FBI, all of that fun stuff. Technical issues are the spice of life. Yeah. Well, they make things more interesting, for sure. All right. Sherlock Holmes. Yep. We've been hacked by a group of rogue squirrels demanding more nuts in the commercials. Please send help and possibly more acorns. Oh, that's funny. HYLD is north of 430. I like it. You and me both. You and me both. Your screen is showing your channel, not the stock. Yes. All right. So this is where I got back and it was showing the wrong window. And that might be part of my problem. I got too many windows open. That happens. That does happen. We almost got to the point, guys, where, if I couldn't get the camera to work, I would have had to pull it up on the laptop and use the laptop camera. It's a shoddy camera. But it almost got there, but it didn't. It didn't. Civil War in the USA, I think The Walking Dead without zombies, just DEI leftists trying to fight with weapons. Oh, boy. Let's see. When it comes to Apple, I like Ambrosia and Gala, not phones. All right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, let's, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, just to try to get myself relatively close to where you guys are. Let's see. If recession by year end, that means no Santa rally. That would probably put a kibosh on the Santa rally. But then again, it's hard to say. This has been an economy that's been hard to predict. Pretty much every indicator says that we're in severe trouble. But we somehow keep going. Which can be concerning because, the higher they go, the harder you're going to fall. Paul says, we even had Samsung flip phones before smartphones. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's see. Get rich. I wonder how cryptocurrencies would perform in recession times. It could be interesting. We could. Now, there's nothing to say that we couldn't go into a crypto winter at the same time, which would be fantastic if you think about it, because then that would be, if Bitcoin were to retrace big time into a recession, that would be a great opportunity to stack some for sure, because we've seen what happens in the good times. We see where Bitcoin goes. Jack says the right cryptocurrencies will boom like gold. Yeah, and that's probably true. I mean, there will be people. So, and this is kind of that interesting thing too. When the economy is bad, right now people put a lot of money flows into gold. Eventually, we may get to a point where money will start flowing into Bitcoin, and it could happen. I mean, it could happen during this next coming recession. We could also see Bitcoin get sort of flushed a little bit. That would be really interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Even if it's just a watch and say, okay, let's see what's going to happen. All right, let's see here. You have to have the peace in order to keep it. All right, fair enough. A sniper. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is there a membership group chat or anything? Not yet. To do it though, and this is the one problem, Amrit, is if I set up a membership only or just a private chat for members in the Discord, the one problem is that I basically have to manually add people and remove people when they're, when they become members or when they're no longer members. And where we get a lot of free memberships, we get membership gifting and stuff like that. That will impact things. That will create a whole bunch of extra work. So if there was a way, and maybe I need to ask ChatGPT if there's a way to do this, to sort of connect Discord with YouTube so that it could keep track of the list for me. That would be ideal, but we'll have to see. Or it could be a situation like I know there was a channel that when I first started YouTube, I joined one of the gurus on how to get views and how to run your channel. I joined his group, his group for for a couple of months while I was figuring things out, and he would add people to he had a private Facebook group, and I'm still in the private Facebook group even though I'm not a channel member anymore. But and that's just because it's hard. It's hard to do it. Max R is in the house with a hello, everyone. We've got a whole bunch of thumbs. I like the thumbs. And the Nightbot doesn't like the Nightbot. Come on, chill out, Nightbot. Holy banana bread. Rory, going into Air Canada at 18, maybe, maybe not. Okay. I like I said, I opened my big swing trade on Air Canada at 19. Um, and I've got patience. I can wait. I can wait. To me, it doesn't matter if they hit my target a year from now. Fine. I would much rather see them hit it like within a month or so. But we'll see. We'll keep it going. All right, and we already have 3 guys in terms of getting a Friday stream, so we just need one more super or gifted membership, and that Friday show is on the schedule. Cowboy, do you swing in non-registered or registered? Sorry, non-registered. Non-registered. Yeah, it's one of those things. You can swing a tiny bit in a registered, but you gotta be darn careful. Like, they need to be longer swings. Like, you don't want a bunch of quick swings like in your TFSA. Now, one exception though is your RRSP. You can day trade in your RRSP if you want to. The CRA is not going to care. Because why? Because they get taxes on everything once you do remove it from there. So they're getting all the taxes. It's where, because of the TFSA's unique tax situation and that tax break, that's the reason why they're a lot more picky on that one. And Rory says cash margin for myself, or is that for Candace? No, I do not use margin. I do not use margin. At least not directly. I will sometimes do some trades with other things that use margin. But I'm not using it myself. All right. Let's see. The alternative would be to do 2 servers, one for free members and one for paid. Then the automatic aspect can be handled easily. I know people do it with Patreon, Ko-fi, etc. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, that might. I'm gonna look into it. Right now, like I said, I don't have that yet, but I'm always trying to add some extra value for channel members, and that is something that is on my radar big time for sure. See, general questions. Can't do buys in the TFSA because of the 30-day rule. Yeah, the 30, and I always, even though it's like 30 days, I like to be 31. And I will point out, guys, if you go to Canada.com and you look at all of the rules around the TFSA, they're very vague. Like, they won't tell you 30 days. They will just say, we're looking for people who are doing frequent buying and selling. So yeah, like the 30 days, it's more or less kind of the written rule that a lot of the YouTubers in the financial sector have kind of come up with. So I think it's just it's kind of a general thing that if you're basically keeping a month between these trades, they're not going to look at you as saying, oh, that's frequent. I would love, though, and I think you're going to see this. I think you will see this. Because trading has changed so much, with crypto and everything else, I think they need to revisit the rules, make them more clear, and and that's the thing. Unless, and this is kind of maybe this is a conspiracy theory, but maybe make the rules vague so that you can kind of decide on the fly what exactly you want to audit someone for, or also that you can scare people. If people are really, really scared, they're definitely not going to be abusing it. All right, Roy says I hold most of my non-CC ETFs in my TFSA. Okay. And let's see, Jack says, I gotta lock in and max out my TFSA. Oh, that's bad news. So yeah, looks like Charlie Kirk did not make it according to CC. Yikes. How many company swings do you do? It really depends. Like right now, I don't have a lot active at the moment. I normally have more active than I have right now. Right now I've got 3 active swings. But yeah, that's about it. All right. And Roy's saying it's unconfirmed. Yikes, yeah. Let's see. That is insane. Opinions should not cause shootings. Agreed. Agreed. Emirates says you can buy, and if doing a swing, then you have to wait at least 30 days. So I will wait until they hit 23, and I do not see that happening for a little while. Right, and you're talking about your Air Canada. So here's the thing, though. This is where they will really hit you. So if you buy Air Canada, so let's say if you buy Air Canada right now, today, and it's cheaper tomorrow and you decide to add some, you buy some more, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. They're not going to hit you on that. Or if you bought Air Canada today and in a week it really shot up and you sold it, once again, they're really not going to hit you on that. That's not the bad thing. But what's really bad is, let's say today Air Canada was $18 and you bought it, and then tomorrow it went up to 20 and you sold it, and the next day it was at 18 again and you bought it back. That's where they'll get you. So if you sell, once you sell, and this is the big one, when you sell, don't buy that stock back for 30 days. That's the one that causes the most problems. That's the one that, when I look at people who have been basically forced to pay taxes, people who the CRA has gone after, that's been the pattern that they've gone after. Now it is vague. Because it's vague, they could, and I've heard people say, oh, well, you probably shouldn't buy, it probably can affect you in every direction. That's the result of that vagueness. But the selling, absolutely, you want to be careful with that. If you do it once or maybe twice, you're probably not going to get caught. And that's a probably, not a you're not going to get caught. That means you most likely probably won't, but you could. There's always that chance that you could. So you got to keep that in mind. All right. Get Rich says, if that is the case on RRSP, probably wise to add those down big time like MSTE and wait until getting paid, until it appreciates a good amount, and sell it, rinse and repeat. Maybe. And yeah, you can do, like I said, you can do anything you want in your RRSP because they don't care. They're getting all, you're not avoiding taxes by doing it. In the TFSA, if you're manipulating it in the TFSA because of the tax-free status, that's why they're going after you, because of that tax-free aspect. The RRSP, everything in it is taxable 100%. So they don't care. In fact, if you made $1 million day trading in your RRSP, if anything, they're going to cheer you on because that money's coming back to Canada when you pull it out. All of it's taxable. So they're happy about that. All right. Jack says, if I ever get accused by the CRA, I will hire the greatest lawyer I can and blame AI for providing bad financial advice and bad trades. Why not? Why not? And, it looks like it's confirmed. Poor Charlie. Okay. What can I say? Okay. Let's, I'm going to be skipping through a little bit just to try to get caught up. So if I miss a comment, guys, don't take offense. Don't take offense. Amrit says, the 30 days is unwritten rule. Generally, if you are doing it all the time or there's a big pattern, then they have an issue. Exactly. Now you can't really do a lot of swings in the TFSA unless you have the room. Well, there's that too. Yeah, for sure. All right. The Trump amendment just confirmed it. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to skip past some of this new stuff. What are the active swings you got? Go, Amrit, if you want to know what they are. You're now a channel member. All you have to do is go to the community tab in YouTube, and you will now see the membership post. So the last post is an update, and you'll see it. So there is Air Canada, and the other two are, they're for the channel members. They're for the channel members. They're for you, but I'm not going to announce it on the air. Just because it's a little incentive for the channel members. So if I tell everybody, then that incentive isn't worth too much. Let's see. When you see the shot, all right. I'm going to skip that. And let's see here. Got some comments here. I think we're almost caught up again. Hey, Gursky. Yes. I heard that. All right. And guys, we got a super sticker in from Paul. This is number 4. And that means we got a show on Friday. And I also get to use my fourth little goat video as Paul becomes a goat squared. A goat squared. So, Friday show, compliments of Paul times two, Mary and Jonathan. All awesome, greatest of all time. So, goats. Love it. This is so cool. All right, let me get back to the comments and out of the goat section. All right, have you ever done a video discussing NAV erosion? I know that's a concern with covered calls. No, I have not. But I probably am going to. I'm probably going to. It's just I don't know when I'll do it. The other thing too is I will say when I do a video that's more of a tutorial, it does get a lot less views. Not to say I don't want to, because I do. I just look for places that I can fit them in. Now, what I might do is I might just do a section on NAV erosion and either, like for example, on the 0 to 100K challenge, you'll notice at the beginning I normally have some little thing that I talk about. Sometimes as well, I'll put a little bit of a tutorial in there as well, but I will do something on it for sure. All right. Seriously, they updated his Wikipedia already? Holy cow, they're fast. All right. GRA has a thing called Advantage where they steal your, CRA has a thing called, it's called Advantage. That's one of the things they call it, where they steal your profits in the TFSA. No one seems to have an answer as to how it is enacted. And here's the bad thing, guys. So if they decide that you've been day trading or business trading in your TFSA, whether you call it, they can call it Advantage, they'll tell you the dates. And basically, if let's say they said that you were business trading in 2024, the whole year. Well, it's not just the things that you've been trading that they're going to hit you tax-wise. They're going to hit you on everything. Now, before you panic, that doesn't mean that everything is instantly taxed. It only means that all of your trades would be taxed. So basically all of your, if you sold anything instead of capital gains, it would be business income. So that's what would happen if they hit you with that. They'll give you a time frame and just even the trades that were not day trading, they'll get hit as well. So it's not something you want. It's not something you want, especially if you do a lot of legitimate trades in addition. All right. Can't short in the RRSP. Yeah, you can't do options in your RRSP, but day trading, yeah, but you can't do options. You have to do options outside of your registered. Jack says, steal your profits how? Like falsely claiming you day trade or business trade and straight up drain your account? No, it doesn't work that way. So let's, what? Oh, I already have. I thought my window was down for a moment. All right, give me a second here. Let's go into Canva. All right, and we'll just do this and you guys know I like the whiteboard. I like the whiteboard. All right, so if you normally make a trade, let's get rid of that. Let's pull up my pencil. I'll use the thick one. So if you normally make a trade, so let's say, for example, you make a trade. I'll just, come on, guys, let me have, all right, there we go. We'll just call it T1. You make T1, and we'll say T2. You made two trades. So T1, let's just say you made $1,000. So you made $1,000. So normally, in your TFSA, how much of that is taxable? Well, nothing, because it's your TFSA. So that is just $1,000 without any issue. Now, if you do it, I'm going to give you, I'm going to do T3. We'll do 3 different scenarios. So this one here is TFSA. All right, if you do it in a non-registered, I'll just say non-registered, you have that $1,000, but you'll get hit with capital gains, which means that 500 of that, excuse me, let's have some coffee. It means that $500 of that would count as income. So half of that gets taxed. All right, now, number 3 is if it is, I'm going to put DT, so day trading. So with day trading, if you make $1,000, the entire $1,000 is taxable. It's known as business income. All right, business. It's hard to draw with a mouse. There we go. Business income. So that $1,000 is considered business income. And it is 100% taxable. And it works in the same way with a loss. So if you lost $1,000, it would be a business loss of $1,000 or a capital loss. Now, here's the interesting things. So a capital gain, it can be negated by a capital loss. I'll just call it CL. So CL, it can cancel that out. Now, if you have that business loss, or let's say a business gain, this, it can't do it. Your capital loss will not cancel out a business gain. So if you got capital losses, and this is we're talking outside of that account, but if you had a capital loss, you can't apply it against a business gain. But if you have a business loss, you can use that to cancel out your business gain. But here's that other thing too. A business loss, nope, it can't be used against a capital gain. It has to be the same type. So for both. So business gains can only do business losses. So here's that thing. If they do, let's say you were day trading in your TFSA. So let's go back to your TFSA. So let's say in the month or the year, let's say you were day trading for 2024. And if you were to add up all, including the legitimate ones, let's say all of your gains, I'm just going to call it gains, let's say $10,000. So you had $10,000 of gains in that year. Well, what they're going to do is they're also going to look at the losses in that year too. So let's say, you did sell some things at a loss. Let's say, for example, you sold, let's say you made it, let's say about $4,000, let's say you took about $4,000 in losses. And some of it may have been while you were doing your day trading. So in this case, what they're going to do is they're going to cancel that into that, and you're going to be left with $6,000 of business income. So BI. And that is going to be added to your income, and it's going to be taxed like income, like any other type of income. So yes, $6,000 in that situation. And the reality is maybe all of those gains, that $10,000, it may not all be what you were day trading, but whatever's in that period when they declared advantage, or whatever time frame they've given you, that is going to be how it all works out in the end. Oh boy. All right. There was my my whiteboard moment. And Amrit saying, they will just look at your pattern and analyze your buys and sells and draw up a timeline. With the timeline, they will look to see what the frequency was and if you were abusing it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Once you have triggered the algorithm, and the way to trigger the algorithm is that 30-day thing, then that will cause them not to instantly say, oh, day trading. Nope. It means that they're going to do an audit. They may not even tell you. They're just going to come in. They're going to do that. They're going to analyze. They're going to look at the frequency of your trading. They're going to be looking for business activity. If it looks like business activity during, in this case, 2024, then yeah, they're hitting you. They're happing you. They're hitting you for sure. 680 new capital gains. Rory says, can I get a welfare check? Well, you probably can. You got to go apply at the right place, though. Oh yeah. Oh, that's never good. Never good. I don't like to see that. Don't like to see that. Amrit says, if caught abusing, they will not let you be taxed with capital gain. Instead, they will tax it at 100%. Right. Business income, 100%. But you have had losses in the TFSA from when they look at the period. You probably advocate. All right, let's see here. For the losses to be applied against the gains. And yeah, and that's the thing. If they don't do it automatically, yeah, you will advocate for it because they will do it. They will do it 100% because, you've got a good argument there. It's like, hey, wait a minute. It cost me $4,000 to make that $10,000. So, yeah, it makes perfect sense. They really should do it automatically. And I think a lot of times they will, but sometimes things fall through the cracks and you don't want to be that person who falls through the cracks. All right, let's see here. Jack says, I'm also curious how they would distinguish day trading or short-term trading in a TFSA, comparing, say, taking profits after entering a position a week, month, or more ago, or fully exit the position. That's that word, frequency. If you're doing it a lot, then it does look like you're making money, in a either day trading or short swing trading fashion. So that's what it is. That's why they'll analyze it. So you don't want them looking at, like I keep saying, even if you make a simple mistake, chances are they probably, because you've done it once. If you've done it once, even if they flag it and they analyze your account and they see that you did it once, they're not going to hit you with an advantage. The odds of that are so slim. But if you get their algorithm and they look at you and they say, oh, look, they're doing this like once a week. Yeah, that's business activity. And then they're going to get you. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you want to be careful. Don't create a pattern. Let's see. So this year, I've exited 11 positions in my TFSA, all profitable, no losses, and my remaining positions are all green. Yeah, you see, that's not bad. Like if you were quite literally, if they were looking at you and you had exited 11 positions through the year, that's not a big issue. That's a normal behavior in a TFSA. So we'll have to see what's going on. All right. Let's see. Everything is green for me except CNGR. I know. CNR has been having a rough year. Absolutely. Crash National lives up to its name. Yeah. All right, guys, we are getting close to the end. If you have your final last-minute questions, get them in because, it's time. Yeah, rebalancing your TFSA, nothing wrong with that. I mean, and that's a normal thing. But, for example, if you were buying once a week, you bought, let's say you bought Air Canada every week, and then you sold it later in the week, and you were doing this each week even with a different stock, that becomes a pattern, and that's kind of the frequency part. But if you sold off some Air Canada, this week, next week you sold off a little CNR, the next week you sold off a little bit of, whatever the green stock of the week is, that's not an issue. Even if the algorithm gets triggered and they come in and look at you, it's got to be clear cut. They can't sort of look, and I know the rules are vague, but, and here's the other thing too. The more the money is, the harder they're going to look. So if you've got a little $3,000 TFSA and you've made a few trades, even if they were day trades, they're probably not going to come after you. Maybe they'll send you a warning. I don't know if they do that. I've never heard of it, but they're probably not coming after you. But, if you've made a few day trades and you have a $200,000 TFSA that you've been growing consistently, oh boy, are they going to look at you very hard. They may deem it to be day trading in that case, but they will look at you a lot harder than they're going to look at the small fry. So, just be, like I said, I don't want them to look at me. So if I sell a stock in the, that's gone down or that's way up in the green, I'm not going to buy them low the next day. I might buy their competitor low, but I won't buy them. So I just keep it that way. I've been doing this for a long time, and as far as I know, I've never been audited, but I probably should knock on wood now. There we go. Knocking on some wood, because I don't believe in superstition, but why take a chance? Jack says, well, my first month in April, I did exit 3 positions within 2 weeks of opening them because I learned things I didn't know at first. Right, but here's the thing. If you're exiting positions and then you're getting right back into the same position, that's the biggest flag you could have, especially if you're getting back in at a lower price. If you get back, now here's the funny thing. So let's say I sold Air Canada today at $19, and then tomorrow I bought them back at $19.25. That's not really much of an issue. They don't care about that so much. So it's if I bought them at $18.80, then it's like, this is looking like day trading. So, or swing trading. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Let's see. Amrit, and yes, there was a big case. There was a big case that set the principles. It's a guy day trading and growing his portfolio to over 400,000, I believe, in a short period of time. Yeah. And there you go. You've got the big money. You've got the short time. So you've got the frequency. So that's the type of things that they definitely go after. That's definitely something they'll go after for sure. Jack says, rebalancing the TFSA in order to max it out ASAP, especially once my Litecoin takes off. I will move profits into monthly dividend paying stocks. Yeah, and that's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. It's, because you're moving things once from one stock to another. It's not going to be a big issue. Isaac bought some Apple and some Chipotle and some NWC, MDA, and CSU. Oh boy. How are you liking the day ETFs? So far I don't have any complaints, but I don't have a lot of data yet. So I do have, in the challenge I have Q-Day. So I'm using Q-Day in the challenge because I moved my other tech position into Q-Day. So letting that run, I think I have C-Day in another account, but yeah, so far so good. So far so good. And I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to, of course, Maple and Biggie. Now that Evolve is dropping those look very interesting. Shout out to NWC underrated. Sure. Let's see, Canada population, 44 million, 60,000 auditors for the U.S. population, 345 million, 90,000. Okay. 44 million, 60,000 auditors. U.S. has 345 million, 90,000. Yeah, we got a lot more. But mind you, there was all of that issue with, I know that the layoffs have been hitting the CRA too, but we'll see. We need a spine here in Canada. Yeah, I can say that for sure. Jack says, I'm up 20% or 4,000 CAD since April TFSA and crypto. I'm 22. That's why my TFSA isn't maxed yet. See, I don't rebuy into an old position yet, or I would wait months. Okay, fair enough. So much opportunity out there. No need to rebuy the same few anyway. And that's the truth. There's a lot of ways you can make sideways movements on most things, especially if you're an ETF investor nowadays. It's becoming like a candy shop out there for ETFs. There's so many new ones, and a lot of them and a lot of them by reputable companies. So I am liking it. I'm liking it as well. Roy says, we spit out consultants like fax machines. I don't even know why we still have fax machines. I really, really don't. Amrit says there isn't 60,000 auditors, way, way less. Also, corps are considered people, so those were not counted in your population count. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, I don't actually know how many exact auditors we have, but I do feel like we're probably losing some, especially I know that Carnage. I know that Carney has been. See, you guys got me saying it now. I know that Carney has been talking to the government, saying, "Let's see where we can find ways to save some money, probably to pay for a lot of the things he's planning to do." Jim, you made it. Great. Pierre says, I did a mistake of selling and buying back one time this year for Palantir, when it crashed, worried they will come after me. One time, the odds are pretty low. The odds are pretty low, Pierre. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. I really wouldn't. And if you only did it one time, even if they did come after you, they're not going to. It's not like they're going to put your your TFSA in advantage for a whole year. Not for a one-time thing. If anything, they probably would give you I imagine they'd probably just give you a warning for a one-time. Yeah, you're fine. You're not hitting. See what you're doing here though, Pierre, is you're not hitting the frequency. That's you're only you did the one bad thing, but you're not hitting that frequency. So they're not going to look at. I don't think they're going to look at you at all. Paul, don't be selling a strategy in your TFSA, then later in the day buying back for less. Exactly. Jim said, worked my ass off to get here. Fantastic. Well, at least when the stream ends here, whenever we get there, you'll you can always you can always watch the beginning part. Oh, there's one part in the middle where there's some technical difficulties. Skip that part. Although some of the comments were funny. So no, don't skip that part. Read the comments during that part. Amrit, can't hold crypto directly in the TFSA, from my understanding. You can hold corps invested in Bitcoin or ETFs. Exactly. So yeah, you can hold, like we got a lot of spot Bitcoin, spot Ethereum, spot Solana, spot XRP that you can hold. All right. And Cowboy, let's see. We need to stop people like Jordan Peterson, so we are forced to listen to Trudopes and Greta Thunberg. Oh boy. Oh, poor Greta. Now we're bringing Greta into it. Rory, strategy went up a bit today. What is going on? Well, Bitcoin was up too, so that's not a bad thing. All right. Okay, we're gonna skip over here. Jim says, I like my Q-Day. Q-Day is awesome. Definitely awesome. Yeah, I'll just mention this one here. Jack is just saying how I wish you could hold crypto directly in a TFSA, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I imagine someday it may change. It might change, but that probably won't be within the next couple of years. Jim says, I got C-Day. It's good too. And Amrit says, yeah, Pierre, they won't touch you if it was once and you did it because it was tanking and you were getting out. But if you sold one day and then bought another day and then sold and bought frequently, that's exactly that word. And Amrit capitalized it, and that's exactly right. It's the frequency. It's that frequency. You got to have the frequency for them to really come after you. Nope, wrong. Strategy is down. Okay. Let's see. We need to stop silencing people. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing. And here's the thing. Not many people think this way anymore. But it's true. I'm okay if you have a completely different opinion than I do. And, I don't want to silence you. If anything, I'd like to hear it. Because sometimes, if I listen to your opinion and it's really completely different than what I believe, I'm still going to listen to it. And sometimes there's some pretty good nuggets in there that may very well change my mind a little bit. So I always say it's always good to listen to the other side. And it doesn't even have to be right, left. It could be like a Star Wars fan listening to a Trekkie. Come on. Or I think they call themselves Trekkers now. Sure, why not? All right. I'm going to skip all the Greta Thunberg stuff. Let's see here. Let's jump all the way down to Pierre. Let's see. What if I sell half my shares on a particular stock to hold some profit, but kept buying back bit by bit a day, automated buying? I mean, I don't know if you're getting closer, but I still don't think that's too big of an issue if you're doing that. Now, if you're buying it back, I guess not at a loss, but because it's lower day after day, once again, they want to see you sell it again. So here would be the thing. If you were buying it, let's say you had a recurring buy on your stock, and it was buying back some of it each day, and you were selling it at the highs, but it kept buying it back. But you would keep every couple of days or so, you'd keep selling at the highs as it keeps buying back. Then we start to get closer to what they're looking for. But yeah, no, if you've just got an automated rebuy and it's just buying, like let's say it buys 5 shares a day. It just, you got that set up. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. Because you're gonna, even if it triggered them and they looked at it, if you have a recurring buy, it's gonna buy regardless what the price is, because it's dollar cost averaging. So it'll be buying higher, lower, in between, at the mark, completely. Yeah, that would be a different situation. All right, Jack says, Mark's Carnage moves Brookfield headquarters to the USA and their asset holding to the Cayman Islands to dodge Canadian taxes, then sends billions of Canadian taxes to Ukraine and Israel. Oh boy. Bleak is in the house. Hello, Bleak. Let's see. Q-Day had a nice climb today. Yes. I haven't seen it, but that's going to be cool. Sandy says, what is your strategy with EIT.UN? Are you holding? Do you think the outlook is bullish? For me, I've always looked at Canoe as being a little bit of an income stock. And it's in their name. It's Canoe EIT Income Fund. So it is an income stock. So I'm never really expecting it to grow. But when it does, it's fantastic. It's great because it will. But for the most part, it is an income stock. So I'm still holding. Yeah, I still hold EIT. I have it in the challenge. I also have some in one of my trading accounts as well. And it's reliable. It just keeps on bringing in money. I never really worry about it per se. Now, there are people out there that say there are better, higher income stocks that you could have. Sure, there are. But they often don't have some of the bursts of growth that Canoe can have. So, because especially where Canoe, here's the difference. Like when you look at a covered call, you have that loss in upside potential. With Canoe, of course, because they're not using covered calls, they do use a little bit of leverage. Most people don't realize that, but they do. Canoe is not getting, doesn't have that capped upside potential. So you do get some growth from time to time, and that's always just a little bit of a bonus for me. If anything, if Canoe does come down or retrace, that's when I usually will add a little bit more. But it's been a long time since I've had to add any. It's like if you look at it, my portfolio, there's probably cobwebs on it, but I still love it. I think it's a reliable stock. All right. Cowboy says we'll be buying more QNC Day. All right, and I'm skipping over comments to other folks. Oracle had a good day today. Yes, they did. Absolutely. Pallant Bond says, did anyone buy Biggie today? Paying $31.25. I know. Oh my God, who was it? Somebody at the very beginning of the chat told me they bought Biggie today. I can't remember who. Somebody told me. Oh boy. I know that at least one person in the community bought Biggie today. So yeah, it's got a pretty big dividend. So Biggie and Maple is the other one. Those are the new Evolve ones. They're going to be interesting. I think, for sure. Now, one of the things with these is that, and I have to go to their page and actually pull it up. I don't know if, let's actually see. Let's see if I can, let's actually, oh yeah, income. By the way, I'm going to end that poll. So income one, the next video will be an income one. So, but here we go. I want to go to Google. All right. All right. Here we go. Biggie, Ultra Yield. I love the name Ultra Yield. All right. Let's see here. Sometimes Evolve can take, I don't know what it is. Evolve can sometimes take a little while to load. It actually, now we'll let that load. We'll let that load here. We'll take a look at it at a moment. It will, oh, sorry, this is the question I was talking to. It will load eventually. It actually loads a little bit better. I think it's Safari. I don't think it likes Safari as much, their programming, because it loads pretty fast on Chrome. But right now, I don't have Chrome set up as the share window. All right, we'll get back here. As soon as this loads, we'll get back to it. Amrit says, well, once in a while, you sell to reduce your position, maybe to buy something else in DCA later on. You might have to be careful, but it's case by case. CRA will ask why you sell it if you started buying it. All right, is Biggie on the TSX? I think it's only American listed, right? No, it should be on the TSX. It should be like it's American stocks. It's American stocks, my understanding. Yeah, TSX BIGY. So yeah, it's on the TSX. It won't go past 15% yield, so I stick to the other ones. All right, and we are already getting a Friday show, Nightbot. Nightbot, be quiet. Actually, here, I can silence the Nightbot. Let's do that. There we go. Nightbot will no longer talk. Well, at least about market closes. CNQE, your opinion. Yes. Let's actually give me a second here. I'm gonna see if it actually has it in here. Sometimes with the newer ones, we have a little bit, but these are part of these new harvest shares, of course. HHIC holds this one as well, but all right. Here we go. So this here is the Harvest CNQ Enhanced High Income Shares. I'm just gonna pull up the 1 month because they haven't been out that long. So right now they're doing okay because CNQ is a bit of rebounding. Now, the thing is, one of the things I like about CNQE is that when it comes to covered calls, you get bigger premiums. So that's how much you charge to buy those options when there's more volatility in that market. And oil's pretty famous for volatility. So that's going to be good for this fund. And I expect CNQE to do really well. I think their dividend is very safe. Will there be there's probably going to be a lot of volatility within this as well. It will be up, it will be down, just like the price of oil. But keep in mind that because there's leverage in there and the covered calls, it may not completely match. So there will be some lost upside potential. But if you're into something like CNQE, and let's go down here, I think they have added the yields. Well, distribution 15. So yeah, the yield in this case right now sitting at 14.052%. You're not in this fund for the growth. Like, that's the thing about income investing. And this is what I think a lot of people, income investors get it, but a lot of people who are not income investors will look at people who are using covered calls, things like that, and they'll be like, you could be making so much more money if you didn't have the covered calls. And sure, yeah, in a lot of cases you would be making more money, but you're not making income. And here's that thing, when you especially in a retirement portfolio where you need that flow of income, you don't want to, because some people will say just sell the stocks as you go. You're still way ahead. You're way ahead provided the market is strong. But if you flip into a bear market and you're being forced to sell things at a loss to get the income that you need, that's not good. With covered calls, that's not the case. In fact, a lot of times if we've got a sideways or a gently drifting down market, it's just business as usual. You got your cash just coming, and if anything, you're adding to more of those covered calls, and that is increasing the amount of cash that you can get. But yeah, so this is I do like this one. I mean, CNQ. It's one of my favorite energy stocks for sure. So yeah, it is definitely one I like. Let's see if Biggie has come up yet. Holy banana bread! Come on, Biggie. Come on, Biggie. Bring it up. Bring it up. It was Lily. Yes, it was. It was Lily. Lily, who had bought Biggie. I knew. I was sitting here. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a girl. That's all I can remember. And Lily, it was Lily. All right. And Roy's saying way too soon for CNQE. And that's you know what? A lot of people. Oh, Biggie's up, by the way. A lot of people are like, I'm just gonna wait, and I tend to do this. I did, I waited with HHIC And it didn't go traditionally. It didn't do that traditional down and give me a better price. Maybe that's still to come. I don't know. But here's Biggie, by the way. Oh, look, pretty animated. It's like, ooh, they got a budget. They got a budget this time for their background. All right, so this is just launched. So I do not know how much information here. Okay, here is what I wanted to see right here. This is what I wanted to see because Adriano, when he was looking at the prospectus, when he was in one of his videos, he was talking about 100% covered calls. And a few of you had even brought up that, oh boy, that could be dangerous. And yeah, absolutely. It's not. It's 33%. So I think, and Adriano, in all fairness, I think he even said it might mean not 100% of the fund is going to be out on covered calls, but that everything in the fund would have covered calls on it. That's what he thought the 100% might mean. And I think that's now been kind of confirmed. They're only writing covered calls on 33%. And there's also going to be leverage. It doesn't say how much leverage. I imagine it's going to be 25%, but it doesn't mention it right here. But yeah, this is Biggie. So it is looking at, well, you can see the companies up here. You got, well, here, look at that. You got the Magnificent Seven in there, and you got Coinbase in there. So yeah, it's looking interesting. It is looking interesting. And Lilly got in at 24.80, and I don't even know what Biggie is at right now. Let's just see. BIGY, here we are. 24.92. 24.92. So you're up a little bit. But once again, this is not a fund. This is oh, they don't have the yield stuff in here yet. This is not a fund that you are buying to to grow. You're buying this for the income. That's what you're buying it for, and that's what this fund is going to be all about. All right. Amrit says income with a bit about NAV erosion would be interesting, as I have picked up more covered calls in my portfolio, but trying to understand the NAV erosion issue. Okay, fair enough. And like I said, NAV erosion, actually in the last live stream, I don't know if you were there for it, Amrit, I kind of pulled out the whiteboard a bit and we talked a little bit about NAV erosion, but Adriano thinks that NAV erosion doesn't actually exist. Because, and it's true, because erosion means it's kind of disappearing into nothing. It's kind of just vanishing, and it's not. The money is all, it's all accounted for. You can follow the math. It is there. So some stuff that people will call NAV erosion is, one of it is, of course, when you hit ex-dividend day. So because you pay out larger dividends, all of that money, that collective money for those dividends, gets pulled from your market cap, or in this case here, your assets under management value. It gets pulled from that because you've now got less money, so that causes the share price to drop. A lot of people will look at that big drop and say, oh yeah, NAV erosion, there it is. Well, no, it isn't. That happens to all stocks. All stocks drop on ex-dividend day, even regular companies. Then they start to recover, as of course they're making money, and more money comes into the system and starts filling up the coffers again, and that value goes up. Same idea with an ETF. They're making money. The premiums are coming into the pot. All of that is all coming in, and it's building the pot back up. And by the next dividend day, they're ready to send it all out to you again, and it goes down. So you've got that constant up and down because of that. Now the other part that's considered NAV erosion is, of course, that loss of upside potential. So when the market's doing really well and the value's going up, they're not hit. Some strike prices are getting hit. They're being forced from time to time to sell the asset at a price a little bit under market value. It's still higher than what they initially had it at when they created the contracts, and they're also getting paid to do that. So there's that money that disappears too a little bit. That's why if you compare a covered call ETF versus an ETF without covered calls, total return wise, yeah, the one without the covered calls will typically win. Now, mind you, if you were to compare the two of them during a bear market, the covered calls will win because you've got all of that income and all of the premiums coming in, while everything is either flat or falling down a little bit, that will make a difference. But on the long scale, bull markets last a lot longer, usually 3 to 5 times, if not longer, than a bear market. So, yeah, long term, if you were to do something for like a 20-year period, yeah. Well, one, we couldn't really look at that right now because covered calls not too popular back 20 years ago as they are now. But yeah, you will still win with the non-covered call version. So when you're looking at these covered call funds, NAV erosion really shouldn't be a big concern. What you're getting them for is you are getting them for that income flow. You're trading away some of that upside for the steady, reliable income that keeps coming to you monthly, twice a month with some newer funds, or in some cases, well, no, I don't know of too many covered calls that pay on a quarterly basis. There's probably one out there, but yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I really do. You know what I should do, Amrit? I won't make a video about NAV erosion, but maybe I'll just make a video, sort of a covered call guide. Everything you need to know about covered calls. That type of thing. Because that way there I could have NAV erosion. I could explain how I can do it all. I can do it all in one video. That has a higher chance of getting done sooner than later. So let me get that done. Let me get that one done. I'll have to figure out when I can get it done, but I'd like to get it done sooner than later. Palinbon says, nice, it almost like HHIS. Very much, yeah. Solana going back up, 223.09. I like that. Let's see. Yes, writing covered calls on Tesla brings in big premiums. It's great to buy it back on the down days. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is a great example. I mean, volatility in Tesla, they're almost synonymous. So definitely big time. Amrit, I know you mentioned spot holdings for Solana or XRP. I will look into those. Any ones on top of your head to have a look? I think they're all good. Like Purpose has some, and those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Like, for example, in the 0 to 100K challenge, I'm actually holding SOLL. And I know Paul likes SOLL.U. That's the one that's pegged to the US dollar. And I think, yeah, Purpose has an XRP, and I think Evolve has some as well. So yeah, the way I look at it is, when doing your due diligence, just take a look and see how they've been performing. You might find like they should be very close to the same, but if you find one that is performing a little bit better, maybe they have slightly lower management fees, and that might be the one to go with. But I think it's hard to go wrong with these as long as it's a reputable company, and Purpose is reputable, Evolve is reputable. All right. Funny market closes and things go back up. Strategy got down to 322, then after hours 326. Whole market starts going back up after hours, even a bit more. That doesn't surprise me. Let's see. Looking at doing HHIC and TFSA, selling a quarterly stock to purchase. Okay. So buy at the X. Did that with HYLD. Biggie is like HHIS. Yes, I am buying it for income. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. HHIS is hugely popular. So obviously, there's a few other companies looking at Harvest. Well, it is Harvest. Looking at Harvest, and they're like saying, how can we make something like that? So yeah, there are other companies definitely getting in. Paul says the new Biggie and Maple do 1.33 leverage, and I am correct, it does calls on up to 100%. Yeah, so if it's doing, yeah, they said actually we were just there actually. Let's pull it back up here, Paul. So 33%. Oh, well, wait a minute. Now that, you know what, Paul, maybe I misread this. So let's see, actively managed with covered call strategy and 30% leverage. You know what? That 30% is in terms of the leverage. You're right. So is it 100%? Ooh, all right. Let's see here. Let's look at the ETF facts, see if we got anything in here. Oh, this is really small text, but it usually is. Let's see. What does the ETF invest in? How risky is it? Risk rating, no guarantees, blah, blah, blah. This is not telling me. I'm going to have to dig deeper. Paul, I got to dig deeper. So, yeah, you're right. That is 30% on the leverage. 30% on the leverage, so maybe they are doing 100%. Maybe they are. That's interesting. I'm just sort of scanning here really quick. I can't read the whole thing. While you guys are just watching, it's like, hurry up and read it. Yeah, 33% leverage. I will get back to you guys next stream, Friday. Friday, I'll get back to you. I'll dig in and find out if they are indeed doing 100%. All right. Lily says, if you look at Biggie Holdings and HHIS, they're almost the same. Yeah, exactly. All right. Elon sneezes the wrong way, I feel moves Tesla. Pretty much. Bismarcky, good afternoon. Am I late? Yes, we're in the dying moments of the show. I pretty much, well, trying to get caught up here. Let's see. Buying bank in a cash account is really good for taxes. Very efficient and pays 14 to 15%. So bank will have return of capital as one thing that you get. Now that is kind of cool because if you don't plan to sell bank, all that does is lower your adjusted cost base. So yeah, you'll get hit with some taxes someday if you ever sell bank. But yeah, it is pretty tax efficient though, year to year. All right, let's see here. I'm skipping over comments to other people. Paul says some of the newer Canadian cover call ETFs will not show up on the Google Finance, on sheets. Yes, and that I find the same thing happens. I have a data page on one of my actually on my 0 to 100K, which keeps all of the prices on it for me. But yeah, a new ETF shows up. It usually takes a week, 2 weeks, a few cases a month before it'll show up in the and this one's the Microsoft Excel data function. All right, thoughts on UNH since the Warren Buffett Berkshire stamp of approval hit 350 the other day. That really helps. Having Warren Buffett hit an approval on them. I think United Health they've been really down for a while. So yeah, this might not be a bad time to be dollar cost averaging into them. I do think we might see some movement to the upside. I think we will. Provided we don't get any more craziness coming out of RFK that messes things up. But yeah, I still think, I think United Health, and they have deep pockets. And I look at it this way. If you start dollar cost averaging into something like United Health, and let's say some more craziness drops the price lower, well, then you're just averaging down. On the other side of all of this, I think United Health is going to be fine. Definitely fine. And Jim says, I got bank with my Q-Day distribution. Nice. All right, guys. We almost went 2 hours. 4 minutes shy. Well, 3.5 minutes shy. But, yeah. Now, here's the funny thing is because I crashed and I brought things up, I've got things in the wrong windows. There we go. I just don't have the background. That's fine. All right, guys. I will be back here on Friday, and we'll do it all over again. We'll see where the market takes us. I can't wait. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.